Tragic news comes out involving Lady Gaga's dog walker, Daft Punk breaks up, and we find out exactly how much it costs to live beside Area 51. All of that and a lot more, but first, if you could please smash that like button, we would really appreciate the support. And with that out of the way, let's begin the InformOverload weekly roundup. So first things first, we have some tragic and heartbreaking news regarding Lady Gaga and her dog walker Ryan Fisher. While outside of the singer's home with her 3 French bulldogs on Sierra Bonita Avenue in Los Angeles, Mr. Fisher was attacked. The attacker shot Ryan in the chest 4 times before stealing 2 of the 3 dogs, with one managing to escape. According to TMZ, Lady Gaga said that she is offering $500,000 for the return of her dogs with no questions asked. Ryan was also rushed to a nearby hospital and is said to be recovering well. Fisher was apparently taking care of her dogs while Gaga was away working in Rome. According to reports, police arrived quickly on the scene after getting calls of shots being fired. Mr. Fisher was found seriously hurt but still conscious. Hopefully he can make a full recovery and we wish him all the best. With that though, let's send it over to our favorite bro scientist, Jared Bronstein.
Thanks, Johnny. What's happening, guys? It's the next generation's Bill Nye, at least that's what I call myself. And today we're talking about my favorite thing. We could all say it together on the count of 3, 1, 2. I'm too excited. Science! Sorry guys, this happens sometimes. Now, if you're like me and always wanted a twin just to confuse people, I got some great news. We're one step closer to cloning. Maybe not humans yet, but someday. And that's because scientists have successfully cloned an endangered black-footed ferret named Elizabeth Ann, using the cells from another ferret named Willa, who lived more than 30 years ago. So they got the DNA or genetics of a ferret from before I was even born and just created a new ferret in December. That is insane. No, it's not insane. It's science! So using a surrogate mother, the amazing people at the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services, FWS, explain how they're hoping Elizabeth Ann, the cloned ferret, will also be able to reproduce. These ferrets are one of North America's most endangered species and were actually declared extinct back in 1979 until a man in Wyoming found a small group living on his land. 2 years later, that small group of ferrets turned into a breeding program to try and protect their species. However, all living black-footed ferrets are the descendants of just 7 individuals, which can cause problems. The agency explained in a statement that without genetic diversity, species are at a higher risk of disease and genetic abnormalities. But with this new achievement, which is a huge win for the agency and all those involved, we may be able to protect those who need it most. Now, over the years dating back to 1996, Dolly the sheep, who was the first mammal cloned using adult cells, the science world has experimented with plenty of other animals. Cats, deers, dogs, horses, mules, rabbits, I'm sure pigs and mice as well. Add ferrets to the list now, then monkeys, then humans. Oh boy, get ready for some double science when you got 2 Jareds speaking about it. It'll be like, science, science, science! It's like 3, okay. All right guys, over to Brie.
Thanks Jared, and happy Friday, IO fam. Now tell me, have you ever had the desire to live on a strange planet? Perhaps Mars, Jupiter, or even Pluto? Because yes, I still consider Pluto a planet in my heart of hearts. Well, unfortunately, science hasn't quite advanced that far towards habitation on other planets, but there is a pretty decent substitute right here on good old planet Earth. For a modest $4.5 million, you can live right next to Area 51. It's the closest you can get towards extraterrestrial life without leaving the comfort of your own planet. Down State Route 375 in Nevada lives a little black mailbox, aptly dubbed the most photographed mailbox in all the world, because that is a title that you want to strive for. Tourists from far and wide come to take pictures of the mailbox, as it is a hot tourist spot for those traveling down the extraterrestrial highway looking to catch a glimpse of some little green men. Now that little black mailbox, as well as the surrounding property, is being sold by its longtime owners, and it's kind of a steal. For the low price of $4.5 mil, you can get the famous little black mailbox, complete with dents and miscellaneous stickers, 80 acres of land, and a permit to graze 250 cows on Area 51, because yes, you and the aliens will be neighbors. This property was originally purchased by Steve and Glenda Medlin in 1973, before anyone really knew about the mystery surrounding the area, and once the adjacent Air Force Base was built, consuming some of the Medlin's property, they came to an agreement to still allow cattle to graze on Area 51's land as long as they call ahead. So keep that in mind if you decide to make this purchase. You don't want your cows fraternizing with the aliens over fears of space cooties, right? Well, the only minor downside about living here is that you have to put up with the tourists. Ever since the mystery surrounding Area 51 blew up, this property, mainly the mailbox, has been a hot spot for alien enthusiasts coming to take pictures, steal your mail, leave their own letters for the aliens to read, or just vandalize it. If you can put up with that, then you'll have a nice time living next to E.T. and his buddies, and hey, maybe you'll even catch a glimpse of something super top secret. Now over to Johnny for some feel-good news.
Thanks, Brie. Alright folks, now let's move on to some feel-good news, shall we? Typically when you see a doorbell camera, it's probably because someone stole a package or some type of animal was caught on video. However, today we have an incredible story about a doorbell camera that captured the moment a good Samaritan returned a lost wallet in Florida. While Deborah Crosby was checking out at a Walmart in Jacksonville, she realized that she didn't have her wallet. It would later turn out that she had actually dropped it earlier in the parking lot. As she was driving home, worrying about all the identification that she was going to need to get replaced, she received a notification on her phone that someone was at her door. The video from her Ring doorbell camera showed an unexpected visitor for whom she now refers to as her guardian angel. In the video, the man says where he found the wallet, and then he tells her that he's going to leave it beside the Amazon boxes, which is exactly where she found it when she got home. Although the Amazon boxes were stolen. No, I'm kidding. But can you imagine? I love stories like this though because it slowly helps rebuild my faith in humanity. With that though, let's send it over to the Spill Zone with Mackenzie.
Thanks, Johnny. It's a sad time in electronic music as Daft Punk has just announced that they will be breaking up after making music for decades together. The pair announced this decision in a YouTube video called Epilogue, uploaded February 22nd. The 8-minute video showcases scenes from their 2006 film, Electroma. And about a third of the way through the video, they showed hands and the dates 1993 to 2021. Their longtime publicist, Catherine Fraser, later confirmed the breakup news to Pitchfork but gave no reason for the breakup. Thomas Bangalter and Guy Manuel de Cristo formed Daft Punk in Paris in 1993, helping to define the French touch style of house music. Their sound blended pop, funk, synth pop, hip hop, house, and techno with indie rock overtones. And they had collaborations with huge artists like Pharrell, The Weeknd, as well as Kanye West sampling their beats for his hit song Stronger. In 1991, the pair started wearing robot costumes and helmets, which they wore religiously for the rest of their careers, rarely appearing in public without them, in order to shield themselves from the limelight. And obviously it's sad news, but we wish them nothing but the best in the future, and I personally will be rocking out to One More Time pretty much all week to celebrate them. That used to be a staple for me when I was hitting the clubs in my university days, so it holds a special place in my heart. Now back over to Johnny.
Thanks so much for those updates, Mackenzie. Well folks, that has been today's show, but before we get out of here, let's check out some of your comments from our last weekly roundup. Judge and Jury says, people want Britney to be in danger so bad. I get she's probably unhappy with her arrangements right now, but the internet is always reaching. I know the internet can take things a little too far sometimes, but I definitely think there's something weird going on there. Yeah, just a little something weird. Dia says, timestamps would be very cool. Just for everyone, we always put the timestamps in the description of the video. I always put the timestamps in the description of the video, but for some reason YouTube turned that off. Like I noticed that it didn't actually put in the chapter, so I will be doing that in the description and I will try to pin them on the comments as well. So that way you can just skip to wherever you want. Eric Money says he looks like a Walmart version of John Wick. Wow, thank you. I love this comment. I always appreciate being roasted. ALVR says, imagine we've tried to live on Mars billions of years ago and simply have no evidence about it, and we're trying to do it again, and what if we fail again? I mean, interesting theory, but I hope we don't fail again. Let's just remain hopeful. But I mean, that'd be a cool movie. Wasn't that a movie? That might have been a movie. Catradora says, oh my god, please get RuPaul on here. I think RuPaul might be just a little bit busy. RuPaul was too busy for Canada's Drag Race, let alone the weekly roundup, so. Unless you start, I don't know, tweeting at RuPaul, maybe we'll see. But for now, that has been today's show. Big thanks to Jared Bronstein, Brie Room, Mackenzie Smith, and our editing god, Daniela. I've been your host, Johnny Riders, and until next time, stay classy, YouTube. Yes, it's another weekly roundup. Sucks starting with bad news, but it is what it is.
Species are at higher risk of disease and genetic abnormalities. You fuck. Why was that so hard?